Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to NAUI's Dive Team Report. I'm your host, Greg Martin. As we recently mentioned, NAUI's longtime training director, Randy Shaw, has died. Randy died suddenly in his sleep after spending a wonderful day with family. Randy recently retired from his position at NAUI and was looking forward to spending more time with family and friends. So this week, we thought it might be nice to hear from some of the people that knew Randy, share some funny stories and remembrances. So I'd like to start. I first met Randy about 7 or 8 years ago when Rod Roddenberry and I were in the process of starting up the Roddenberry Dive Team, now known as Roddenberry Adventures, and Randy was on board with the proposal from the beginning. I would call Randy from time to chat and ask diving-related questions, and would always meet up with Randy at DEMA to laugh and, of course, have a drink. A little over a year ago, he called me and asked me when I was going to get my instructor's certification. I'd been a long-time dive master, and I think I'd made the same lame excuse, and he said, you know what, we're going to get this done. And with that gentle prodding, I became a NAUI instructor. So for that, I owe Randy my thanks, and I will miss our visits. Randy was around through a lot of change for NAUI. That included a number of leadership changes, including the most recent change. So let's jump over and hear from NAUI's current head honcho, Dallas Edmiston.
Well, I think most members who were around at that time, a couple of years ago, when I first arrived here at NAUI Headquarters as the new executive director, it was a time of real transition for the organization. And there were a couple of really key players who were critical to the success that we could smoothly come in, have the new leadership team come in. Randy was one of those people. But I'll never forget my very first meeting with Randy. We went in the conference room at headquarters, sat down, and he looked me in the eye. And keep in mind, he's talking to his new boss, and he says, I've been here for over 20 years, and I really love this organization. And if you screw it up, we're going to have a problem. And if you don't, we'll get along great. I thought that was kind of, as the new boss, I'm going, okay. But you know what I recognized in that was Randy was 100% NAUI. And that wasn't directed to me personally. It was just that he had a personal connection to NAUI and a commitment to making sure that whoever ran it or whoever was involved with NAUI was always going to be the agency that he believed it could and should be. And so we went from there. In the little more than 2 years that we worked together, I don't have the time today, or you don't have the time for me to relate all those kinds of stories. We had moments of frustration, moments that we laughed, moments that we celebrated together. I was very fortunate to travel to the Middle East, to travel to Asia with Randy, where we met with members. He introduced me to partners, and plus he was helpful with our other global organizations. I kind of think most members probably don't realize just the level of service that Randy, over 22 plus years of employment, just as an employee, let alone his years of membership, that Randy provided the organization. He retired as the director of training, but Randy probably should have had the title of director of everything, because there's virtually nothing at NAUI Headquarters or the operation of the organization that he wasn't involved in helping, whether it was technology and giving us advice and helping to keep servers running, helping with marketing or membership services. Randy was the go-to guy. And I got to tell you, even after he retired earlier this year, he was still a regular, frequent consultant visitor here to headquarters, and he only lived a few minutes away. Every time I had a question, an issue, or a problem, it didn't matter. He didn't work here anymore. We had already set up a secret email for him so we could stay in touch. I had a cell phone number, and he was probably over here at least once a week. So right up to the very end, Randy was a real part of NAUI, and he left us too soon.
Thanks, Dallas. I received an email from NAUI Brazil this past week talking about their friend, and I wanted to share that with you. And here it is. For us, Randy personified NAUI itself. Through him, we had the support, recognition, and presence of NAUI in our work. He accompanied a good part of the growth of our children. The first gifts he brought were dinosaurs, until after years he ended up bringing Green Day CDs. Always concerned about the people around him and always courteous. we were able to welcome him to our house and had the pleasure of guiding him through Rio de Janeiro. It was great company because he was always willing to see new things. He was our big brother. We really appreciate this tribute, and we can't imagine someone who deserves this more than Randy. Again, that was from Lika and Jornada from NAUI, Brazil. Peter Oliver has been editor of NAUI Sources for years and has worked with NAUI for quite a few. Peter had some thoughts.
I met Randy way back when I was branch manager for Southwest Branch, and he was in Oklahoma and I was in Austin. And I'd run into him every once in a while, and he was always friendly and always great and helped me, and I helped him too. We did a lot of diving together and got to be friends, although we only saw each other every once in a while because, of course, we were several hundred miles apart. But anyway, when he went to headquarters, we would contact each other every so often and just chew the rag. It would usually be that he would call me or I would call him, and he would say, I haven't talked to you in ages. And I would say something like, well, I ran out of things to do, so I thought I'd call you. But I watched Randy working out of headquarters as he went to around the world, getting all of our service centers started. And every time he went somewhere, everybody just loved him because he was friendly. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he was a very, very good instructor for workshops or whatever it was. And they always wanted him back. And so he did a lot of traveling for NAUI. And then when he finally got ready to retire, and he hung on for a couple of years after he should have retired because Dallas wanted him to help make the transition. When he got ready to retire, I wrote an article about his retirement where I gave a little bit of his biography. And then when I closed it, I said, do you have anything you'd like to say to the members? And he gave me a long quotation about NAUI and what he thought of NAUI. And I would just like to read what he said. This is Randy Shaw speaking, last interview. A great thing is that NAUI has enabled me to do things I could not have bought at any price, and to meet some of the finest people I know. It is all luck, my being here and knowing our NAUI members. They are the most gracious, respecting, and caring people you can find anywhere. There is no way I could have done what I was able to do without the help and support of NAUI members. Yes, I've gotten to dive in exotic places that many cannot, but the real gift is that I have met the kind of people I have been associated with all these years. NAUI's structure lends itself to working like a family. We all work together for NAUI, and I thank them for being who they are.
And with that, I think I'd like to wrap the program up. Thank you, Peter. Of course, if you have an interest in learning to dive or to take any advanced scuba classes, Randy would always say, contact your local NAUI dive shop or check out NAUI.org. And that's this episode of NAUI's Dive Team Report. I'm Greg Martin. Thank you for listening. I'll see you underwater.